Want to welcome Stephanie Ruhle to the program now. Stephanie, of course, the MSNBC live anchor coming up at the top of the hour. Stephanie, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Thank you for joining us. Okay, so the story of the day seems to have morphed from the caravan, at least for the time being anyway, to what it means to be a nationalist. The president, of course, declared at his Houston rally that he is not a globalist, he is a nationalist, and he was instantly seized upon as being a white, asked anyway by Jim Acosta, don't you mean white nationalist? Is it possible to just be a nationalist, meaning I care about Americans before I care about the concerns of the globe?
Here's the thing. This is just unnecessary.
Why?
There are great ways to articulate that you are a patriot being someone who defends our nation and the values of our nation above all others. Mm-hmm. In a perfect world, could you say, well, that could mean a nationalist too? Well, in a perfect world, you could. But we both know, and we've heard from the likes of extraordinary leaders like John McCain, that's not a word we need to use because it is a dog whistle at a time when we are seeing racism and xenophobia on the rise. Let's simply be better and not use that word.
Why? If it is synonymous with patriot, which I agree, patriotism, nationalism.
I said in a perfect world it would be, but we're not living in a perfect world.
Well, why don't we strive for a perfect world instead of playing to the fears and the racist allegations of people for political partisanship? Why don't we strive for that perfect world?
Because it's not like we're hearing from someone that has a high moral standing. This word, who strives for a perfect world. This is a president who it took him time after time and time again as he avoided saying that he didn't know David Duke. The president has already said in the last week, there could be people from the Middle East on that caravan. And you and I both know he's been dog whistling straight out of the gate since he came down the elevator in Trump Tower.
Wait a minute. This is the president who said after he pulled out of the Paris Climate Accord, I was elected by the people of Pittsburgh, not the people of Paris. Is that a dog whistle or an acknowledgement that my first duty and obligation is to the people of our country? That's not a dog whistle. That is a statement of loyalty to the people who elected him.
That's not a dog whistle. So I'm not saying
Is that not saying the same thing as I'm a nationalist? I'm thinking about our people before the people of Paris or the people around the globe?
I'm not saying that what he said specifically about the Paris Climate Accord was a dog whistle, but many, many other things, sir, including many sides speaking about Charlottesville, were dog whistles.
But the president, Stephanie, very clearly in Houston, very clearly defined what he means by comparing nationalism to globalism, not comparing whites to blacks, not comparing white America to minority America. He said globalists think about the globe first and our country second. Nationalists think about our country first and the globe second. I'm a nationalist. He made it very clear that this had nothing to do with white nationalism, and it seems like people are going out of their way to find fault with it.
Then we're going to agree to disagree. Given the president's history on racial issues, given his professional history, given his father's professional history, I'd prefer if he was extra careful in his word choices, especially as we go into an election where he is capitalizing on fear-mongering. So we're going to agree to disagree, sir.
Well, yeah, we certainly are. But what I want to know is how it is that you are going to take the position you are when he defined globalism before defining what he means when he says nationalism. You can't put words in people's mouths, and I feel like that's what Jim Acosta did. It sounds like that's what you're doing, Stephanie.
I'm not putting any words in his mouth. What I will be able to do is look back on the many, many things the president has said over the years, and it's why it makes someone like me feel uncomfortable.
Okay, well, what exactly has the president said recently about this issue that makes you feel so uncomfortable? And it's very, your expertise is largely in economics. You're Bloomberg TV editor as well. You're former anyway. So given all of your economic history, the president is largely talking about global or nationalism and globalism in matters of trade. He has often said, look, we're going to stop other countries from taking advantage of the United States. If I have to use tariffs, if I have to start trade wars in order to make sure that we get a better deal for our people. Is that not economic nationalism? But is that not economic nationalism is my question.
Not if you look at the way the president is conducting himself, because if he truly did have an impact, he would engage in things like TPP 2.0 and partner with our ally nations instead of attacking them. So no, we're just going to disagree.
Stephanie Ruhle, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. She is on MSNBC Live at the top of the hour. We'll get some reaction to that as we continue. Bob Frantz in for Hugh Hewitt on the Salem Radio Network.